Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about Malik Yoba and all of the stuff that came after he announced that he was trans attracted. So Malik Yoba, a few days ago, he took to Instagram and he shared a viral video of this young man who was talking to a crowd of hecklers, and to the crowd, he was very proud in his stance in liking to have sex with transgender women.
You said, keep it a beat. You fuck what? You fuck what? Bro, you do what?
Fuck training, so what?
That's thorough?
Hey, yo, because
Like, that's not thorough.
I think that should have paid.
You sucking dick and all that. That's not thorough, sucking dick and all that.
And after the video had gone viral, I believe the young man then committed suicide from something that happened. And in a post, Malik Yoba had something to say about it and how, you know, we got to end this type of thing and people should not be afraid of who they were attracted to, just kind of summing up what he said. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, he talks about how he has an attraction to trans women. And I'm going to just read the bottom part of it. You guys can, you know, pause the screen and read the full message. But the bottom part of his message, it says, I love all women and count myself among those that find themselves trans attracted, and I too have felt the self-imposed shame that comes with that truth, but it's time to speak up. It's not about genitalia or sex, but about the attraction to the soul and humanity of an individual, and often the beauty that is in the courage and conviction to live one's truth. As a self-identified cis heterosexual man, I too am learning what it means to be trans attracted. Many of us, famous and otherwise, that have struggled with accepting our attraction, so we do nothing. This must change. So after he made this post and, you know, he came out as saying that he was trans attracted, he got a lot of support. There was a lot of people giving him praise and saying that they was proud of him, that he was standing up for this, and that, you know, he wasn't afraid to say that he was trans attracted and, you know, all of these things. But then the very same community that he was coming out and trying to support is the same community that tore him down and said, hold up, we're not going to glorify this man and we're not going to do this. There was one person who made a video saying that, you know, they don't appreciate him coming out now, that he's an old man and he didn't do it when he was younger. I'm going to show you guys that video, and then I'm going to show you, child, just get your teacups ready. I'm going to show you the rest.
So today's topic of conversation is going to be Malik Yoba. My name is Sharon. I'm with the best, and my news is real. So like all these guys who come out and they talk about, oh, I'm attracted to trans women. Why is it always when they're pushing 60 and half their life is over and they've got gray hair growing out of their chin? Why don't you do all of that shit earlier on in your life? I mean, I'm just saying, to give out these accolades to men who are finally saying, this is what I'm attracted to and this is what I like. I mean, think of all of the women, okay, who were born with vaginas, okay, that he lied to and deceived. Think of all the women of trans experience that he lied to, that he deceived. So he's done all this damage his entire life, and now that he's almost pushing 60, he wants to come out and be supportive. I mean, let's just be clear here. Malik Yoba is trash. And I want to know why you trans women are so, like, you guys really need to get some self-esteem and y'all really need to level up.
Child. Okay, so that is just a small piece of what Sharon had to say. This is a trans woman, and she really had a lot to say about this particular topic. She went in depth and she alleged that, you know, Malik Yoba was a child abuser and he was a predator. These are alleged words from her. I didn't input all of what she said because I want to have it come straight out of the person's mouth who said it. She was kind of like talking about a situation situation that I'm going to talk about later in the video. But some of the things she said, she also touched on the guy who Malik Yoba was, you know, praising in the video, saying or advocating for, not praising, but advocating for. She talked about the guy that Malik Yoba was advocating for, that was, you know, talking to the people. And this trans woman, Sharon, was saying, you know, people are running with a false narrative that this man committed suicide for being bullied for liking trans. And Miss Sharon says that it's quite the contrary. So I'm going to let her say that part, and then I'm going to tell you guys what came next after this.
Because y'all did the same thing with the guy from here in Philadelphia, Reese, who died of an accidental overdose, and you all ran with it and said, oh, he died because he was being bullied because of who he loved and who he was attracted to. That is a false fucking narrative. He died of an accidental drug overdose. But yet you all are running with this narrative and erecting him as some sort of martyr, okay, when he was completely totally dysfunctional drug addict. But this is who you want to be the face of, owning who they like and who they love.
I mean, I tried to tell y'all, Sharon had a mouth full. Sharon also went into details and was saying there was a difference. She said, people like Malik, this is Sharon's words, not mine. I'm just describing what she said in the video. She said that people like Malik like trans women who still have their male parts. She said, so she doesn't like the term trans attracted, because according to Sharon, that's false. You're not really attracted to trans. You're attracted to a trans with the penis. I'm trying to say this respectfully. This is somebody who is in the trans community. This is what she said. This ain't my, this ain't my words. I know how sensitive people get. This is what Sharon said. You can go to her social media, her words. But I'm just trying to summarize so I don't use up all of her video, whatever. But anyway, so she was saying that, you know, she doesn't like trans attracted word because he's not attracted to trans who have gone through the surgery and now have a vagina. He's attracted to trans who still have their male parts. And according to Sharon, that's a homosexual to her. The trans, the LGBT, I'm always confused. That's why I don't really like to talk about it. But, you know, that is what it is. Actually, no, let me just include that small little clip. She had like a 30-minute video, but let me just include that small little clip and then we'll go on.
Are only into one body part, period. Excuse me, before I get censored. People that like penises, okay? If you are a man who likes penises, you are a homosexual, period. You can like it, you cannot like it. That is the realization of it, okay? Because I prefer the term gender incongruent. I was a woman who was born gender incongruent, okay? When a trans woman gets her congruency, the first thing that a so-called trans attracted man does is he goes running for the hills, okay? So let's be clear.
Okay, and I had to chop some of it because it got pretty explicit, but what Miss Sharon was saying was, people who say they're trans attracted, they're attracted to the trans who still have their male parts. They're not attracted to the trans who undergo the surgery. So she's saying that they're not trans attracted. They are homosexual. Her words, not mine. She's a trans. She's speaking for trans. And I wanted to make sure to put that clip in. I wasn't going at first, but hey, let her words be clear. She was saying that she doesn't like certain people being the spokesperson for trans because people are praising the wrong people. They're giving the wrong people badges and merit for things that are not honor worthy. Like, you know, she was saying how Malik has done damage all his life, lying to women, lying to trans. And then now that he's 60, he's finally getting praised. That, and the third. Well, there was also another trans woman who came forward, and the other trans woman is a woman who said that when she was 13 years old and 16 years old, that she allegedly, now all of this I'm just saying, you know, is alleged. I wasn't there. There has not been no verified proof, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna show what she has to say out of her own mouth. But according to this other woman, she's saying when she was 13 years old and 16 years old, she was a sex worker. And as a sex worker, Malik Yoba allegedly had a relationship with her. And, now she wants to kind of sue him because it was a violation, and there's this new law in New York about, sex workers or something like that, like underage sex workers, where, now she can go after him. And so now she's going to go after him. I'm just going to go to her Facebook page and read to you guys the post of what she said. Again, this is her words, not mine. I'm just sharing y'all what is public on the internet. These claims are considered unfounded because she does not show receipts, but this is her words, her truth. But it's alleged at this point because I have not seen verification. But let's carry on and let me read to you what she's saying are her accounts of what happened when she was 13 and 16. Okay, so as you can see, this post is made public, and it was made public on September 1st at 1:32, and it's viewable for everybody. I'm not going to put the name out there, and I'm going to read through it. And it says, and it starts off by saying, "Surviving Malik Yoba. We had sex when I was just a teen. For all who applaud and salute Malik Yoba for revealing he is so-called trans attracted, understand that either because of deeper issues he has or because of society pushing him and others to deep, dark places, his admission to being sexually attracted to trans is bound to open a Pandora's box for him. Not because the women are trans, but because many of the trans women he engaged in sexual exploration and exploitation with on 14th Street, Times Square, and elsewhere were minors, including myself," according to this woman, again, all alleged on her Facebook page. She goes on to say, "I started seeing him personally with my own two eyes, cruising around the meatpacking district and village. Large black Jeep looking for trans femme sex workers. He preferred black trans girls, pretty, slim girls, but would pick up a Latino if she was put together and or looked mixed. That was close to 20 years ago, and I can still remember it like yesterday. I also remember the day a friend of mine said, real cool, like she was known to do, walk down the block, just go. He wants you. You always remember celebrity clients. It's like time slows down. You remember every detail, blood pounding. He was cute and polite, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure he knew what he was doing was wrong. New York Undercover was still on TV. I remember living in a group homes and being in institutions and giggling when he and the actor who played his partner would flash across the TV screen. Most group homes didn't have cable, so New York Undercover and all other shows on the basic New York channels were staples. Some of the other kids could tell something was up. I knew they never believed my story anyways. New York's child sex abuse laws means Malik will have to face the music. Sorry to burst a lot of folks' bubbles, and I don't give a F who doesn't believe me or feels I'm trying to ride a wave. There is a trend of men of color being embraced by the queer community for liking trans women despite overwhelming evidence of character flaws, glaring signs that sex addiction, substance abuse, unchecked mental health issues, and inner demons are what drive men to, engage in these behaviors with a trans person. And she goes on to say, that's not love, period. She also goes on to say, what Malik paid me to do as a 13 and 16-year-old wasn't love. His ignoring that I was clearly a child prostitute wasn't love. Paying for cheap thrills and secret orgasms, begging for unsafe, unprotected sex from a runaway trans teen while enjoying stardom as a successful artist and businessman isn't love. Where was his love for the trans women over the last 20 years? Where are his trans girlfriends? ? Something tells me I'm not the only one who got some dirt on this individual, and something also tells me that he didn't just up and decide to come out. He was pushed. Careful not to make a fool of yourself supporting him and his message. I am sure I am not the only trans person who was a minor when Malik Yoba first loved them. And so again, This is from this person. This kind of went viral. There was a lot of people sharing it, a lot of people commenting on it, and a lot of people who weighed in and felt like, you know, you're just riding the wave, you're just clout chasing. And then there were a lot of people who believed this woman and said, you know, we believe you, we stand for you, you know, and a lot of people felt like he wasn't who he cracked up to be. And there was even, you know, more trans women who came out against Malik Yoba, like the first woman I showed you guys in the video where she was saying, you know, that he was trash. And some of the story that the first woman I shared, she was talking about pieces of this story in hers where she was alleging that he you know, was this person who engaged in underage sex work and all this stuff. But I just wanted you guys to hear from this woman directly from what she said. And now I'm going to share a video with you guys of this woman speaking out, because after a lot of people started to, you know, weigh in on her post and share her post and comment on her post, she decided to further go on live and talk about some things regarding this. And here is that video right now.
Right now, New York just passed a law for victims of child sex abuse. And you can go after people if they was adults and they mess with you, right? At the same time, trans stuff is popular. You've already heard I'm a trans activist. Today, Malik Yoba is gonna come out and say, or recently, oh, I love trans women. Oh, you left out the part that you was paying some of us when we was 13 and 15 and 16 years old. So now, just now, I wrote a post, but here's why I decided to get up on my nap. You heard them say I was sleeping, y'all, right? I'm scrolling down. Erica, when you see this person, you'll know what I'm talking about. This older queen. And Anthony, I hope you're watching, because I don't want to talk about you when you're not watching. Older, and I just put it, person I've never seen anybody else attracted to. So I know this old queen, and I put on the post just now, I've never even seen anybody attracted to you. Who the fuck's you? You seem like the old queen. I'm gonna say why I'm calling this in a second. But that would call a call boy. He jumps on my post and says, well, if you were selling ass as a kid, you wouldn't have much credibility. Let me gather my edges and gather his edges too. When children are forced into child sex abuse, they can always come forward and tell their story. And if there is anybody that says, oh, you were a kid and because you are a prostitute, so I'm sorry, are only the little white kids that gave it away for free to the priests? Are they the only ones that are allowed to have their day in court? You had to give it away free, huh? No, bitch, I was charging. Y'all have to understand the context, y'all. I was taking a nap. Labor Day, beautiful weather, chilling, family, food, fun, la la la. So I see that Malik Yoba has expressed, let's separate it. If he has adult feelings for trans women, that's his business. But what he did to carry them out when society made it so he couldn't find none except little trans prostitutes that were teens, we gotta separate those things. You can't tell me he did not know we were teenagers. Bitch, I barely look my age now. What you think I looked when I was 13, 14 years old? You think I look like I was 21, 18, 19? No. Bitch, they still ID me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Mariah Lopez. I'm known for not lying, you idiot. So if there are a lot of, you know, I'm known for a lot of things. Lying is not one of them. So you can get a lot of people that might have made this type of post and you can be like, oh, she's lying. Bitch, I'll tell you what the nigga was wearing. I'll tell you what his junk looked like. I'll tell you what we did to each other. I'm gonna spill more tea in this video that I didn't put in this post. I seen him in Brooklyn on Myrtle like a month and a half ago. Ask him. Oh shit. Ask him. So I hear he's trying to get on Pose. I don't really care about none of that. He happens to be making the statements he's making at a time when New York has brand new child sex abuse laws. Oops. He talking about he loves trans. Where were you loving me when I was needing you to pay for my transition?
Okay, so that is a piece of her claim. She's saying that, you know, again, when she was 13, this is something that happened. And she believes that it's only because New York's laws against, you know, sex abuse crimes has currently changed. And she feels like he's trying to get ahead of it. And it's a coincidence that he's now speaking out. In so many words, just summing it up. Then she went on another live in her defense, and she wanted to let people know that she is not about to provide receipts. She's not a liar, and that she's telling the truth. And she gave a couple other details how she sued the city and opened up doors for group homes and other trans runaways. And it's documented that she was in the area that he used to frequent. I'm going to share a little bit of that and then talk to you guys a little bit more about Malik Yoba.
We're not going to make victims of child sex abuse produce a little blue dress like they're Monica Lewinsky. We're not going to do that. I see it. Thank you. And for all you that say I'm a gold digger, you're so stupid. I have lawyers on deck. I don't just sue myself. And if I were trying to get all of his money, I would have slid into his lawyer's inbox, proverbially, through my lawyers. And we would have, through emails and meetings, negotiated a settlement. I have lost leverage because I went public. Understand that. The receipts will be, we're not going to put victims in situations where they are forced to feel like they have to, take lie detectors and produce little blue dresses. And the fuck you think I was walking around with a non-existent cell phone and taking notes on my clients? You know what the girls will tell you though. That's why you got the right girl. Whoever's the girl's coming for me, you got the right one. I have a different type of memory, girl, and I've always been known for it. I see the client license plates once and I remember it. I can remember numbers, especially short 7, 8 digit numbers, phone numbers, docket numbers. So my memory is never a question. My motive to lie, stop. Don't do that. The only question is, because you guys you're doing too much mental gymnastics to try to come for me. Gymnastics. He's already admitted he's like trans women. I'm not the only one he's turned. We just spoke to someone. Somebody that was like a couple recently outside of his house, calling other girls, talking about he turned her, he didn't want to pay her. That's recent, right? But if the press contacts him and they say, so do you have any proof you didn't have sex with her as a minor? Oh no, because you were admittedly driving around the meatpacking district. Just so happens, Mr. Yoba, we happen to know this minor was running around the meatpacking district because she was suing the city in federal court for all other runaway teens. I am Joelle in Joelle A, the lawsuit that opened all the new foster care facilities. It's in federal documents that when I ran away from the group homes, I was in the village in the meatpacking district. It's in documents.
Okay, so that is a little piece of what she said. All the counts are alleged. I was not there and she has not showed proof, but it makes sense why she does not have proof. She said that she doesn't have this non-existent phone from 20 years ago. She's saying that this was, you know, a long time ago. And of course, people with common sense know that the screen record technology that we have today in 2019 was non-existent back then. You know, back then we was on chirp phones, phones that probably, if you guys are old enough, you remember the cell phones that had the game Snake on there that would go around and around. Okay, now I'm sharing my age because I'm old. But anyways, so this was not the only person who felt some type of way after Malik Yoba came out and said and professed his love for trans women and said that he was trans attracted. There was a post or a comment from his children's mother under one of his posts, and they felt some type of way about him coming forward about him being trans attracted as well. I'm going to read to you guys this comment And I mean, it just was a lot of tea being spilt about Mr. Yoba. And like this woman said, she made claims that it was kind of ironic that he's coming out now and that she thinks that he was pushed. Well, in the post from his children's mother, she says something about he was preparing to go public months ago. So let's get into this now. I was just going around the internet like, say what? Say, huh? Okay, so the comment reads, and it says, at Malik Yoba, as the mother of our 2 beautiful children, you already know how my support for you has always been unconditional. I expressed that 2 months ago to you when I became aware of your current trans relationship. Why did you not have a conversation with our children and wait till last night to text our firstborn with this info? Yet you were preparing public months ago. I guess she meant you were preparing to go public months ago on IG. Our children support you and keep so much a secret of what I really goes down. I guess she meant I keep so much a secret of what really goes down with our family dynamic. I asked to meet you over a month ago and you have yet to make time. So here I am. If you know better, then do better. Family is first over all. So I'm guessing, you know, the mother of his children felt like he owed it to his children to tell them first before he became public on Instagram. Which, I mean, that is something that as a child of or a family member, you would kind of rather hear from the person themselves versus, you know, getting online and seeing all the blogs having all of these headlines and all of these people having things to say, you know. So I'm guessing his children felt some type of way because people started to say stuff to them and have words for them. Well, somewhat addressing, you know, what people were saying to his children, this is what Malik Yoba had to say in response.
Good morning, family. First and foremost, I want to say thank you all the good folks who have reached out in the last 24 hours, seeing my name, talking about trans attraction. Imagine that, Malik Yoba. So here's the thing. We're human beings, and we're all part of the God body. And so, unfortunately, part of our mechanism is that we need to judge and categorize and ostracize and vilify and demonize the things we don't understand. As a black man, I know the stories my daddy told me. I know my history as a black man. And so it's going to take the efforts of everybody. You know, I've got 3 children, and I apologize to my own children because my kids got some foul messages with folks thinking that it's okay because you don't understand something. Just because you don't understand something does not make it wrong or does not make people wrong. I don't even understand all of it, but I'm willing to ask questions. I'm willing to align myself to get close to so that I can understand.
Okay, so as you can see, that is Malik Yoba apologizing to his children because people said some not so nice things to them. And like I shared with you previous, how his wife, she was not, you know, here for him not sitting his children down and speaking to them first before coming public with this news that she says that he planned to do months ago. Whoo, child, at the rate that all of this stuff is coming out with Malik Yoba, I'm guessing that there is more tea to be spilt and more people to come out. The only thing that I would say is I thought that there would be more trans people, you know, in support and not see so many people coming out. But that's what happens when you do things and people feel like they're not genuine, they're not from the heart, and you're doing it only because of certain things. Then, hey, you never know what skeletons might crawl out and what may come out. Again, there were people who supported him, and there were a lot of people who felt like he is not somebody that people should stand and band behind and support. You know, it's always tricky with the LGBT community, with the trans community. I do not like to talk about these topics because, you know, if you give your opinion, even in the slightest, you get bullied by the community because they want you to understand and feel how they feel. But I'm like, hey, I see people even in the community who are confused and not really sure of every single aspect of the community. So you can't get mad at every heterosexual person who doesn't quite understand, because as I've showed you, even in this video, there was a trans woman explaining the difference of, you know, a person who she viewed as a homosexual. You know, there's some people who would tear a heterosexual down if they said the things that that trans woman said. She said that if you like a trans woman who still has her male parts, that you're homosexual. But if I, a heterosexual person, said that, I would get bullied from here on out from the trans community. So it's like you have to walk on eggshells, and as a community, there are people who even in the community, they're not all fluid on the same views. Like everybody views stuff differently. One person feels like if you still have your male parts and a male likes you and you dress like a woman, you're homosexual. And then there are people in the trans community who feel like if you have your male parts and you dress like a woman and you consider yourself to be a woman, you are you know, having I guess that the male that's engaging in the interaction is a heterosexual and not a it's just very confusing. And you know, that's why I like to keep away from these topics, because I be confused and even people in the community be confused, and it just be a whole lot of I just wanted to share with you guys what I seen, because my mouth was dropped as I was flipping through Facebook pages and Instagram pages and seeing all of this stuff. I'm like, wow, I was a big fan of Malik Yoba as a child. I used to watch New York Undercover, and not to say that I'm not a fan of New York Undercover anymore, but it's just like, dang, you just never know what be going on. But like I said, all of the accounts that was made by the people in this video are alleged and unfounded, as I was not there. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you believe what they have to say? What do you think about what the wife had to say about him not sitting the children down first before he went public on something that she said he planned to do months prior to this? And then the other trans woman saying that she feels as though he was only coming out because he was forced to come out. And then, you know, the other trans woman, like I said, who, if I as a heterosexual woman say the stuff that she said, you know, it would be a bloodbath. But you know, what do you guys think about what she said? Again, she feels as though, and she is a trans woman, but she says that I guess she is after the surgery. So again, like if you have the surgery, she feels like the men who are attracted to her are actually like people who are interested in trans. But if you didn't have the surgery, then she was implying, she didn't say it, but she was implying that they're still a male because she called the person who'd be interested in them as a homosexual. So what do you guys think about all of that? I want to know what you think down below. Let's talk about it in the comment section. And that's that on that. All right, guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Hit that like button and let me know what you think. All right, guys, peace.